Here, police have to deal with people on a daily basis. Often there's physical contact involved. So, how can they protect themselves from the coronavirus? Police Minister Bheki Cele speaks to us now over the phone. Minister, good morning to you. Thank you very much for your time. You spoke yesterday about policing pubs and taverns in order to enforce the so-called social distancing. How realistic are these measures, Minister?
Good morning to you. Maybe to start, we start with the issue of protecting the police officers themselves. Yesterday, the top management of the police were involved in trying to find out the issue of how quick we can get the gear to help our police at the stations, protective clothes, the gloves, and other things, the sanitization equipment and all that. So, because most of the time, they will be at the stations to continue to protect and try to prevent crime matters. You remember that the disaster that has been called by the president is not equal to the state of emergency. Therefore, we still have the softer approach, though we have a bit of a leeway of dealing with the matters. For instance, where we might have needed the warrant of arrest, we might go without it when we suspect that any activity, if not prevented, will cause a disaster. The law itself, the disaster, is very specific about the movement of the vehicle and the kind of from point A to point B. We might have to limit that. We might have to limit the people that bring together. We haven't decided on it. But today, we expect the Department of Justice to issue the regulations. We believe that will be on the regulations, which will make it easy for the police to begin to implement those regulations.
Minister, I've got to ask you this question. I'm not sure if you're aware of a case of one lady from the Northwest who was wrongly confirmed to have coronavirus and subsequently was negative. In fact, even the Minister of Health got involved in this case. Her family, Minister, was subsequently harassed in the area of Vryburg, and they were told that they come from Angola and they are here to spread the coronavirus. How in the world do you deal with this, and are you aware of this particular case, Minister?
Well, it's not that only one. That's one thing that the Minister of Health has been really good on it up to this point, that it will give the number, not the identification of people. I'm sure you have been aware of that. And I think that is the way that we need to continue to do it. It's going to be fake news, but it's going to be hate and all that. We would ask those families that they are attacked in such a way to go and open the cases on the police so that we are able to work towards their protection law. That's not the only one. For instance, I'm sure you have seen even bad videos where because you have this kind of a nationality and then they chase you, automatically makes you to suffer from this coronavirus. That is not true. It's part of the education that all of us will have to go. And fake news, I'm told you that in Cape Town this morning there is news that we have shut down 5 police stations. That is not true. 1,153 police stations in South Africa, they are all working. So these are the things that we need to respond to. But the communities themselves will have to go to the police station when they are threatened so that we can work on their protection. But generally, the community and the society must understand that they must make their contribution by stopping fake news and giving the hate speeches or the hate kind of knowledge to the people to say this community, this individual, this family has this disease. If so, those people will be helped by the health workers and the community only. They must give the support, one, by not allow those people to get into the quarantine, but also allow those people to go and get the help in the health facilities.
All right.
Indeed, and the police will have to act. on those people that are chasing people.
Minister, you touched on it in your first response. If the national disaster is suddenly upgraded to a state of emergency, what kind of measures kick in from a police's point of view?
Well, that is a maximum. I would not like to tread off it. But the first thing that it does, it unleashes the army. The army takes over on that one. Okay, so you can imagine, it's not the police knocking in your door, but it's the army. So there are many other things, there are many other rights that are much restricted. We hope and we believe we might not, we wish we don't reach that level, because that level is really uncomfortable for all of the citizens of the land. Imagine when the police of the work, when the streets, when your doors, everybody is an army that knocks there, and the police begin to give the support. Now, the army will forever give the support to the police, but state of emergency, the army takes over and the police give the support. So you can imagine the discomfort that can be there.
All right, Minister, let's hope we don't get to a state of emergency. Police Minister.